it's germ-free. See, look at this. You can feed this system any liquid you want. You can feed it multiple liquids. It does not care. It will handle everything like a boss. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of Oxygen Not Included. And, well, in the last episode I said I'm gonna deal with my commuting issues, with Duplicant's commuting issues, but I decided I'll do this in the background because it's just basically putting a bunch of transit tubes all across the map and that's it. So what I've done here is I've added transit tube access where a transformer used to be, and that transformer was replaced by this one down here, which was sitting and doing nothing. So I decided I'll just feed the wire and connect everything that was connected to this transformer. And everything else is just transit tubes going all the way down to here. Now I'm not gonna build it further down because this plastic melts quite easily at 160 degrees, and this place is, well, it is kind of hot and it might get hotter later on, I don't know, but just in case. And I've done the same thing right up here, so all the way up. I'm gonna stop here for now because I'll be doing some digging around here, and then I'll carry on. It shouldn't be that far away. So in the meantime, what I decided I'm gonna do in this video is probably gonna be more of a educational video, I would say. I'm gonna take care of this place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish building my chlorine room. I don't really need it, but you know, just in case I'll ever need it, it's there. And I've been experimenting a little bit with some options how to build my decontamination system, and I found this well, stupidly simple one, which requires very little automation, and it's, well, basically it's unbreakable. You can feed it one liquid, you can feed it multiple liquids at the same time, you can feed different liquids, it doesn't matter, it will deal with it like a boss. So let's build it. All you need is just one liquid tank, that's it, nothing else. You don't need any extra tanks. I tried with multiple ones, but I just went down to one because it's just enough. Next, liquid shut-off valve, which is going to be our input, and it goes straight into the tank. Now, out of the tank, I want to check if it's germy or not. If it's not, I'm going to allow it to go through this liquid shut-off valve, like so. This is going to be my output somewhere. I don't know, probably I'll build a water sieve over here. Now, if it is germy, it will go back into this tank. It will go through the bridge, like so. Now, important note is there needs to be a pipe junction. Now, it's gonna work this way, but well, just for clearance, I might as well just do this, just so it's more obvious how it looks like. There we go. That's how it looks like. Now let's put a bit of automation. So this germ sensor will control this liquid shut-off valve, and the whole tank will be controlling this liquid shut-off valve. Now I think, yeah, electricity. I still need electricity. Like this. I queued up some bleachstone digging, so I've got some bleachstone. Just keep filling this up until it's fully pressurized at 1.8 kilograms, which will take a while, but doesn't really matter. There's tiny bit of chlorine in this room, it will work. So yeah, let's wait until this is finished. I'm gonna set some values and then we'll carry on from that. Okay, there we go, all finished. So a few setups, not much, just make sure that the germ sensor is set to below 0. I think below 1 works as well, but I just set it below 0 so that it sends liquid through the valve only if it's germ free. Now next automation is the tank. The tank will be controlling how much liquid it takes into the system, so that's fully controlled, and I wouldn't recommend putting it to 100% because, well, it will work with 100%, but just for the sake of, let's say, making it tidy, nice and tidy, if you will. So the reason I put it at a bit of lower value is because once the signal is sent, once the tank gets full to 90%, it will send a red signal, and the red signal will close this valve and prevent any more liquid going into this system. Now what will happen is, as soon as this valve is closed, there's still going to be some liquid in these pipes which will go into the tank. So that's why I set it a bit lower, so there's room left in the tank for this to clear out. And the way this works is, it's a quite interesting mechanics. I don't know if this is why it works, but that's just my thought process. It all has to do with this junction down here, and the fact that there's at least a tiny bit of liquid in the tank, which I'm gonna point out later on a situation where the system can kind of break, or it will have its performance reduced drastically. But we'll get to this later on. So the way it works is, once you have enough liquid to fill this tank, at least a tiny bit, at least just if there's, I would say, 1 gram of liquid, it will work. Although I haven't tested with 1 gram, I've tested with more. But the way it works is this: as the liquid flows away, flows out of the tank along this, what happens is, there's gonna be a, when the system is filling in, there's gonna be this let's say a traffic jam, a liquid traffic jam, if you will. And what happens is, the liquid will flow into the tank 1 packet at a time from each side. So one packet of liquid goes this way, then the next one goes like this, and it keeps cycling between these 2 input pipes. And what this causes is, every time a liquid packet goes from this pipe, this is blocked. This is all blocked, and the liquid stays inside the tank. And it stays only for a short brief moment, but that's enough to kill quite a bit of germs in those packets which are inside the tank. And I think this is the way it works, although my theory is that you don't really need this junction. As long as you have enough liquid in the system to fill this tank at least a tiny bit, it will work. And I'll demonstrate this in a bit. And yeah, that's how it works. And it will keep cycling around and around until all the germs are killed off, and then eventually it will start going out. Now, I do not have any germy water, and I probably won't have anytime soon, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna save this game, And I'm gonna jump to my little sandbox playground just to demonstrate how this works. Jesus Christ, it loads quite long, to be honest, but anyways, we're here. And so this valve is further away because I was experimenting, but it's the exact same system. As you can see, it goes out through the germ sensor back into the tank. If it's germ free, it goes away. Automation wise, can't see anything. There we go. All set, all good. Now, as a matter of fact, I might as well switch this on. I'll make it as it is in my base. So I'm gonna just destroy all this. Destroy it up to here. Let's put this wire in here. Let's take this away. And I think it doesn't make any difference whether the pipes join right on top of the input or outside. But just for the sake of this demonstration, I'm gonna put it the way it is in my base. Let's just make sure it's set below. All good. Need some electricity. And I think we're good to go. So let's just slow this down. Now, yeah, my colony is lost. I don't have any colony in here. I don't need it. So, quite a bit of germy water, 9 million germs. And let's have a look how it works. So now it starts filling in. And once this gets to this point, and as I mentioned, as you can see, it goes into the tank one packet at a time. And every time a packet goes from this pipe, this gets blocked and the liquid stays inside. And as soon as you get enough liquid just to fill up the tank, the germs will start dying off fairly quickly. As you can see, I'm still pumping germy water into the tank, but the germs are dropping down quite significantly. So I don't think it will get filled up fully. Yeah, it's not. I think the germs will die off quicker than this can fill up. And I believe, let me just double check. Yeah, I have room for germ-free water. And I think what happens after this is, might be that this will start decontaminating full pipe of liquid. I'm not sure. I haven't got into this test yet. Or, yeah, never mind. Might fill up. Yeah, it might actually fill up. Well, for the demonstration purposes, I'm gonna drop this down to, let's say, 10%. Let's assume it gets filled up. So what happens is, this will shut the valve off. That's it. It only takes as much liquid as you decide it wants to take. And now it's gonna cycle around. And germs keep dying rapidly. And once they're all dead, we'll start sending those liquid packets right across here. And we have germ-free water. Now, before I carry on, I'm gonna disconnect this. Well, I'm gonna have a bit of liquid. I'm gonna show you what happens when there is not enough liquid, as in there's not enough liquid to fill up this tank. So let's get this cleared out, and you see once it drops down to 0, it will send a green signal, open up the valve, and the cycle will begin all over again. But this time we're only gonna have a tiny bit of liquid. So it opens up, and now, as you can see, the liquid is flowing around, but it was not enough to fill this pipe up to the point where some of the liquid stays in the tank. And the tank is empty, and now I think the germs are still dying off when these packets are going through the tank, but I think this is gonna take ridiculously long, and I mean like super long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what happens if you get just a tiny bit of water inside. Let's say probably 3 more packets should be enough. Let's see, there we go, we have 20 kilos. Just a bare minimum. And look at the germs. They're dying off rapidly. Because there's a bit of water in the tank, and then that's the liquid that's having its germs killed completely. So this is disconnected, so I'm gonna wait until this is finished. And I'm gonna do a final test. I'm gonna feed 3 different liquids all at the same time and see if this system breaks or handles everything. So come on, hurry up. I want to carry on. In fact, I can prepare this like so. There we go. We're gonna have a bunch of different liquids. Anytime now. It does slow down at the end a tiny bit, but eventually we have germ-free water. Now, let's set this to, I would say, 90. Well, we don't really need that much. Let's set it to 50. And let's connect this pipe. And there we go. We have three different types of liquids, all germy as hell. But this system doesn't care. It'll just take care of it as usual. And that's the beauty of it. So once this gets filled in, what happened? Ah, overheated. Okay, let's fix it quickly. Let's have... Well, this is a bit unexpected. Let's use... Which one's highly? Steel plus 200 plus 900. And I did it the wrong way. Let's deconstruct this. There we go. Oh, look, this one's dead as well. Okay, okay. Let's fix you up as well. Let's have it like so. There we go. Everything's back online. So even if you lose power, it won't break, because once the power is lost, this valve will not operate, this one will not operate, but even during the power outage, this will keep decontaminating the liquids that are already inside the system, which is great, I suppose. Anyway, let's wait until it shuts everything off. Should be anytime soon, like now. And this system, I've came up with this design after spending quite a bit of time doing this stuff. And we'll get to this in a bit as well. But let's just have a look how it handles this. There we go. It filled up, closed the valve. Now it's decontaminating whatever is inside. And once this drops down to 0, it will start feeding it all 3 liquids out. And as you can see, it's germ-free. See, look at this. You can feed this system any liquid you want. You can feed it multiple liquids. It does not care. It will handle everything like a boss. And that's the beauty of it. Now, I'm gonna disconnect this so we don't have any more stuff in here. And yeah, that's it. Stupidly simple. And we have one packet stuck in there, but doesn't really matter. And the good news is it's actually killing the germs off. So I can say with full confidence this system is unbreakable. It does not need any priming, and priming means is when you fill the system with a bit of fresh germ-free liquid just to get this pipe just outside the tank and between the exit valve filled up with filled with germ-free water. This system does not need this. It doesn't care. So I'm safe to say this is probably the best I will get. I might come up with some other options in the future, who knows, but we'll see. Now, this one. What's going on down here? So this is a lot more heavily automated system, and the way it works is it takes, just like this one, it takes only as much liquid as it needs to, or in other words, as much as you set it to take. You can set it more if you want, but what I usually do is I'm gonna set this to 1%, and I'm gonna explain why. So the way it works is so first of all, this system can only handle one type of liquid, and the reason is it has a liquid pipe element sensor, and what this element sensor does is as soon as it detects the liquid you want to decontaminate, it activates the whole system. If there is no liquid, nothing will operate. It will just stay idle like this. Now, how does it work? Well, it works. It does look complicated, but it works in a quite simple way. And the sequence of it goes like this. When the liquid comes in and it goes through this liquid pipe element sensor, this sensor sends a green signal into this memory toggle. I'll just call it memory switch. And what memory switch or memory toggle does is once it gets a green signal into the set port, it sets this output signal green. If it gets a green signal into a reset port, it sets this output signal red. And now a little mechanics behind this is that if there's green signal coming into a reset port, this green signal will not trigger this output. It will always stay red as long as there's green input coming into this reset port. And this green signal is coming from the tank. When the tank is empty, it will always send a green signal, keeping the system disabled, which means it will not perform a decontamination process if the tank is empty. Now, at the same time, the red signal comes through the NOT gate, which inverts it back into green and keeps this input valve open, so that the liquid can be fed into the system. Now, once it detects a liquid, it's gonna send a green signal in here, but this memory toggle will not switch on because of this reset. And this is why I've set the high threshold to 1%. So if it fills just up to 1%, which is gonna be 500 kilos, it will send a red signal. So when it's empty, or whatever low threshold you set, it's gonna send a green signal. The high threshold will send a red signal, and I set it to 1% so that as soon as there is a tiny bit of liquid, it will send a red signal, and it will say to the system, hey, I have some liquid, let's run. And what will then happen is the green signal will be sent into this, what's it called? Filter gate. Now this filter gate is set to 200 seconds, and this is the time I've set to fill up this tank. So it will keep this liquid shutoff valve open for 200 seconds. And the way it works is the filter gate works like this. So as long as there is green signal coming into the input of the filter gate, and it stays green for whatever time you set here, then it will output green signal over here. So it basically delays the input signal. Once this becomes green, through the NOT gate, it will become red and shut this valve off. And that's the basic bit of this part. Now the next one works like this. This filter gate is set for 150 seconds, which is enough to decontaminate whatever liquid is inside the tank. So this is the decontamination cycle. Then for 2 seconds, what will happen is this liquid valve will be open. And the reason is I've mentioned while I was building this, the pipe connecting this valve and the tank will have some germy water inside. This is the problem. If you watched some other videos of other people, they talk about stuff like priming the system with germ-free water first before starting decontamination, and the purpose of that is to fill this bit with germ-free water. Because what happens is if you don't have any germ-free water in here, you pump germy water along this pipe, it goes into the tank, and a tiny bit of it will go out of the tank and get stuck in here. And the purpose of this 2-second filter gate is to open this valve long enough just to clear this pipe of all the germy water and fill it up with germ-free water straight from the tank, which was decontaminated in the previous process. Next, those few liquid packets of germy water will flow back into the tank, and that's why I have a second decontamination cycle with this filter gate set to the same 150 seconds, because these 2 packets, oh, 2 or 3, I don't know, I didn't count, they will flow back into the tank and decontaminate and contaminate all the water inside. So I need a second cycle of decontamination. Once this is done, it will send a green signal, open this valve permanently, and the whole tank will be cleared out. This valve and germ sensor, it's the same as here. If it's germy, it goes around. If it's not, it goes out. That's it. Now, yeah, I have a pipe. And let's run it. So first I'm gonna run it slowly, showing you how it works, because there's a tiny bit more, like this. I don't know how you pronounce it, XOR gate, but I'll explain it in a bit. So Let's get this connected. Let's slow this a bit down. So, polluted water coming in. Let's just make sure we select, yeah, polluted water is selected. Now, as soon as it detects the water, there you go, it sends a green signal into this memory toggle switch. But the output is not set to green because the reset is staying green. Now, the tank will start filling up, and once it gets to 5%, which is 50 kilos, there we go, went above the high threshold, and now it sent the green signal, which disabled this reset, and now the memory toggles switched on. Now, this green signal activates this filter gate for 200 seconds, and as you can see, it's counting down. And while it's counting down, the system is being filled up with all the germy water. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit, get through this fairly quickly. You can see it keeps filling in the tank. And once this is done, I think it fills up, well, I'm gonna double check how much. There we go, it fills up just around 2 tons of liquid. If you want more, what you can do on this system is you take the filter gate and you can connect it in series and then feed the cable all the way back like this. This way you can extend the time if 200 seconds is not enough. But for this demonstration purpose, it's more than enough for me. So what happens now is it's gonna turn this to green. There we go. The green signal is inverted through the NOT gate, and this input valve is shut off. So the system, just like this one, it controls how much liquid it takes in. Now the decontamination process begins. For 150 seconds, it will stay and do nothing, just to get all this germ killed off. Let's speed this up a little bit, so we don't spend too much time waiting for this stuff to happen. And you can see this is enough to kill all the germs. Now, next what happens is it will send a green signal over here. And this XOR gate, XOR, I don't know how you pronounce it in English, but the way it works is, where is it? Not this one, there we go, that's the one. So the way it works is it will output green signal in here only if only one of these inputs is green. If you have both red, this one's gonna be red. If you have both green, this will be red. If you have only one green, this will be green. And once this is done, there we go. Only one input is green. This one's green, so the valve is open for 2 seconds, and this one's going very quickly. There we go. Well, it was probably less than 2 seconds, I don't know, but that was enough to clear this pipe, and you're about to see a bit of liquid flowing along this pipe. And now, when this filter gate is green after 2 seconds, the signal goes into the next filter gate, but at the same time it goes into the second input of this XOR gate. And now that both of these are green, the valve is shut. And there we go, 2 packets of liquid. You can see now it's contaminated again, so there's another decontamination cycle happening, which we'll wait until it's finished, well, nearly. And I'm gonna explain another mechanics. Now, the output of this filter gate is connected directly into this liquid shutoff valve. And as you're about to see, it turns green. Now, why is this? There's a little mechanics behind this, and it works like that. When you have, let's say, one logic element outputting green signal and the other one outputting red signal, this whole line will turn green because the green signal has a priority over red. And now it's feeding this liquid out, and as you can see, it's germ-free. Now, once this tank is empty, and as you can see, everything stays green, and the way it works is from this memory switch, basically the signal is traveling like this. Goes like this, like so, and it stays green as long as its input is green. So this memory switch is holding this filter gate active. This filter gate is holding this NOT gate active, and this filter gate active, and so on and so forth. And the only way to disable this is to send a green signal into reset. Then this will turn green, this will turn green, everything will turn, sorry, not green, red. This will turn red, this will go red, and all the other logic gates will turn red. So let's wait until this, and we'll see it in action. There we go. And everything is reset, and now it's filling up again. And the whole process starts all over. And this is the way it works. I do like the automation part of this system, but I like the reliability of this system. So I'm gonna be using this one. This can easily break if you do things wrong, like for example, and I think I haven't tested it yet, but if it does not decontaminate the liquid fully, what will happen is some of it will go back into the tank and it will stay there. And I believe, I'm not quite sure, I haven't tested yet, but I think it will get stuck because the tank will not empty, so it will not reset itself. But I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't tested this. When I was about a bit more than halfway through this system, I came up with this design, and I thought, no, screw it, I'm gonna leave it. If you want to, you can play with this, test it, try it, improve it. Like for example, I think I can get rid of this memory toggle and just use this to control the whole system, just like it's working in here. And if you want more time, you can always, like I said, connect these in series and just feed the signal back where it's coming out. But yeah, you can play. Which one you choose doesn't matter. It's up to you. I'm gonna use this one because, like I said, it's more reliable, more robust. And yeah, hopefully this video was informative, educational. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.